Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Sue Dunn and I will be hosting the webinar this morning. Just a few notes ahead of time. Everybody is muted so that you're in listen-only mode. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We're fortunate we're going to this morning see our last in a series of solutions showcases is what we've been calling them. And this morning we're going to get a brief overview of DocLink, Sage CRM, and Sage Data and Analytics. So because we're so short on time for doing these presentations, we'll jump right in. And our first presenter is Tony, and he's going to be showing us DocLink and explaining its advantages.
Thanks so much, everyone, for taking the time to be with us today, and it's an honor to be leading off. But really what I wanted to talk with you guys about is just what DocLink has to offer, and really looking at DocLink from a few levels. It doesn't really matter if you're a C-level person or working in the trenches. You really rely on data to do your job. And unfortunately, if you can't find that data when you need it, work can come to a standstill. It could take a minute or hours, whatever you need, but really it's wasted time. It increases cost, process disruptions, compliance risk. There's a myriad of things that happen. So what I wanted to talk today about is how isolated data and content aren't easily incorporated into an organization's information flow. And a big source of that isolation and unstructured data is found on the documents that come into the organization on a daily basis. For most organizations, the first information flow problem that they bring to us most often is the AP solution, receiving, approving, and processing supplier invoices. But when you think about it, it could be an AR process, a manufacturing problem with certificates, and an audit problem. So there's a variety of different ways that it becomes an issue. So really what we're going to be talking about is some of those manual, inefficient processes and how DocLink helps our customers with that. The document access, being able to retrieve those documents, how we can have a really efficient approval process that gives your team many ways, many options to approve things and get things done in a timely manner. Data entry, being able to enter invoices, leveraging technology so it reduces the amount of manual error, and matching and vendor client communications. We'll talk all about that going forward in the next couple of minutes. So getting it done with less energy. We're trying to get rid of, as I said, getting rid of manual data entry, invoice approval, too many exceptions. These are all things that we want to get rid of to make things easily. I need to talk about marketing because I don't think I gave them authorization to give this picture of me. But anyways, I just thought that we want to make sure that the accounting area has the tools to make them as efficient as possible. So what I want you to think about is DocLink as an intelligent document hub. When we look at this center section here, this is where we're now allowing all that critical data to be processed and accessed at an easily basis. DocLink can capture your documents when it's in the system to create a digital document. We don't care what document type it is. We have all kinds of different document capture methods. No matter what, we want to digitize it and store it. DocLink only keeps one copy of each document, so you'll always know the document you access is the right one. But this is really where the power of DocLink begins and what differentiates us from other solutions in the market, including others that you might be looking at. When DocLink digitizes your document, it is then stored in the system with what we call index properties. These are data points that you can use every day. They can range from GL codes, invoice numbers, item numbers, whatever it might be. There's no limit to what properties it can capture. These index properties are important because now they're going to be linked. So when we look at capturing documents, doesn't matter if they're coming by scan, if we're utilizing intelligent document capture like OCR, if they're coming in by email, barcode, whatever it might be, we just want to get it into that hub So now what we can do is start to look at documents by a few areas. We can now look at them by these property values. And now here's a simple example of that. I have all these documents in the hub, but I just want to pull up all the documents that are related to PO number 8885. Now, by simply clicking on a button, I can find those and have them now at my fingertip to be able to view. Again, a real simple way for us to avoid having to look in a folder, find out what's important and what's not. Index properties are real important. They can find a range of documents. And I think the other component that we want to make sure that you understand is that we are leveraging AI capture. We're going to be able to, or an option of AI capture that allows us to find those documents, not use any type of templates, but really learn on the fly going forward. So now I can pull up everything associated with it, do my three-way match, and move forward. So one of the other things I wanted to bring to your attention is when we're searching for documents, we're going to give you the ability to find those documents either from the hub or from your Sage ERP. And what I mean by that is that I can go inside an ERP screen, simply, here I'm in a PO purchase order entry screen. I can click on this view document button, and now it's going to pull up that PO out within DocLink and be able to pull that up. So now if I'm an accounting person, I can be right on my going through my daily work on this PO screen, pull up that image and be able to refer to it going forward. And same thing if I'm looking at, here's another example. Now I have an invoice number that I want to be able to click on that view document button, and now I can find that invoice number and pull it up easily. Again, just a couple of quick examples of how easy it is for you to find documents. You're going to have all kinds of workflow history, who's touched it, who's looked at it, who's viewed it. Again, a full audit trail, something that's very important. We want to make sure, as I mentioned, giving you the ability to have effective workflow processes, be it an internal process of approving an invoice, or it could be any other type of things that might involve automating rules. It could be an expense report or whatever it might be. What we're able to do is create a workflow, have the appropriate approver be sent that information. They will then get an email. They can either approve, deny it right off of that email and have the invoice attached to it. If they want to do it on their phone, they have the ability to do that as well. Whatever makes the most sense for you. We also want to give you the ability to push documents outside to customers or vendors and have them in an automated fashion, where now when that invoice comes in, I want to automatically put an email together that attaches the associated documents and push it to the right person. Again, something that's real important going forward for your organization. Doesn't have to be done right away, but it's something that DocLink offers to our customers. We think about DocLink as any process, and really we talked about AP process, but think about HR onboarding. How easy is it? How can I leverage DocLink to do that? We have quite a few customers that use it just for that. Expense reports, as I mentioned, contract management. These are all different areas that allow DocLink to be a solution that can grow with you going forward. So think about the differentiators. I wanted to keep the ball rolling and keep us on time. We have an enterprise-wide intelligent document hub for that robust searching. When we look at the rules, we allow it to be very configurable. So you, the team at Micro, the team at DocLink, whoever can set up those rules for you. That AI-driven combination, being able to do the 2- and 3-way match, something that differentiates us, and really thinking about digitizing your documents. So one of the things I want you to think about is, if you have a question or you want to see something that's specific, feel free to reach out to me or your account manager. Sue can set you up with that, and we'd be happy to talk about your specific situation if DocLink could be a fit for you.
Next up is going to be Don Gruber from Effective Solutions.
What you're looking at here is a Sage CRM screen. If you're not running CRM, the biggest benefit of a CRM system is a central database to track your sales and communications activities with your customers. And typically another big benefit if you're doing quoting is managing your quote activity and following up on those quotes. And one of the biggest benefits of Sage CRM is that it's tightly integrated with Sage 100. And that's our specialty. That's what we do, is implement Sage CRM systems with Sage 100. So how it works, if you're looking at it here, Sage CRM is a browser-based application. So I'm just running it in Chrome. We would install it on either your Sage 100 server or a server right next to it, whether it's hosted or on-premise. And when we install it, we run a wizard to pull in all of your Sage 100 customers into Sage CRM. So what you're looking at here is a representation of a Sage 100 customer and how it looks in Sage CRM as a company record. So there you can see you've got a customer number. Your Sage 100 customer number is listed there. You have some of the integration components is the customer maintenance button, for example. So I can click on customer maintenance, and if I have permissions, I can actually access that customer maintenance record. And if I have permissions to update it, let's say they move to a new suite number, 555, I hit accept, and that updates immediately in the system, right? So that is part of the integration. In addition to that, you can convert prospects in CRM to customers in Sage 100 when that happens. So obviously, if you don't have a CRM database, there's really no good spot to put prospects. And with the CRM database, you have that central spot for your salespeople to store all their prospects until they become customers. So in that conversion process, either converting the prospect in CRM to a customer in Sage 100 or vice versa, you can create a customer in Sage 100 and push it down to CRM so that those databases are always in sync. In addition to that, core CRM capabilities include tracking people at that company. So here I'm looking at ABC dealers. In my CRM database, I have 5 contacts. So part of CRM is also building your marketing database. So at any point, you can pull up your people that have email addresses, and you may segment them by a variety of filters and email the appropriate people. So you can generate that out of CRM. In addition to that, the communications tab. So this is another big benefit of CRM, is pulling up any customer and knowing who talked to them last and what they said. So here you see, this is an audit trail of those activities that I talked about. Newest at the top, I can see phone calls, I can see who did it, I can see emails attached. So there we have an example of an email that's attached. There is integration with Outlook and Gmail. So if I have Outlook, there's a plugin called Accelerator right here, this purple lightning bolt. And if I click on that, it actually opens up a window to Sage CRM, and that lets me take any email and save it to my CRM system. This same company also provides a Mobile X add-on. So if you wanted to access your Sage CRM system from your smartphone, you'd be able to do that too. So we have you covered from that perspective too. And then along those same lines with the integration, we want, one of the big concepts of an integrated CRM system is pulling up that customer and seeing everything at your fingertips. So you also have last invoice date, year-to-date sales compared to last year, better worse comparisons, do they owe us any money? That's all available to the CRM user. In addition to that, you can see, do we have any quotes, open orders? I can see the invoices from within the CRM system without having to go into Sage 100. I can drill down on those transactions. I can even see item level information. What items does this customer buy? And I can see all the line items from all the invoices. So if they bought something last year and they want to do a repeat purchase, I can search those line items to look for a particular item, when they bought it, how many, and the price. So that's all benefits of having an integrated CRM system. And then level 2 would be if you're doing quoting, managing those quotes as opportunities. And this is where the integration comes in as well. So you see here, imagine being able to pull up all of your open quotes and see where they're at in the process, so you can customize these sales stages, so you can quickly see how many open quotes are at what stage and follow them through to be either won or lost. And then if another opportunity comes in, I can simply create a new opportunity, test project. I can come down here, and obviously these screens are customizable. I can do a forecast, percentage, probability of close. It's assigned to me as a salesperson. And then when I think the customer is going to make a decision. So now I have a placeholder for that project. And then when I'm ready to quote, I can go to the quotes tab, click on a new quote, and it will open up a sales order window from Sage 100. And from here, I can fill out any necessary information on the header, and then I can go pick my line items. So let's do 5 of those and 5 of these. And then when I hit accept a couple times, it'll actually synchronize that quote down to CRM. And this is where I would email the quote to the customer. So now I can come in, you see a representation of that quote in CRM. I can just simply hit the send quote button, pick my template. I can have different templates for different style quotes. When I pick the template, it'll merge it to a PDF and attach it to a default email. So what we're doing here is we're standardizing our quoting process. Every quote that goes out is going to look pretty much the same. So here's the email. Here's what the quote looks like. This can be customized with your look and feel. And then when I send it out of the system, it will automatically attach it to Sage CRM on the way out. So I can go to that opportunity and I can look in communications and see there's that email out and the quote is attached there too if I need to reference it. And everyone in my organization has access to it. And when that customer calls back and says, let's go ahead and move forward with the order, all I have to do is click on View Edit, convert that quote to an order, and we have scripts that will automatically mark that opportunity won when it gets converted to an order. Okay, so those two pieces are typically the biggest return on investment, and obviously the integration and avoiding double entry is a huge time saver. And in addition to that, then we can build whatever other custom reports. Because we have the integration with Sage 100, we can give your people access to all their open orders or recent invoices. I can see customer sales by month if I have access to that. And this is tapping into Sage 100 data. And finally, if you do have a situation where you may want to have a support department where you're managing cases or tickets, you can manage, there's a case module in CRM. So if you wanted to track issues in the CRM system, there is a facility to do that too. But in the 10-minute overview, those are the main pieces. And obviously, if you have questions or you want to schedule a demo, reach out to MicroAccounting and we'll arrange a more detailed demo for you.
Regarding Sage Data and Analytics. Good morning, David.
Where we're going to focus today in the next couple of minutes to talk about one thing, which is analytics. And I just want to ask you a question, like how easy is for you and your team to analyze your business today? So how do we combine information from multiple sources, from multiple Sage 100 companies? And how do we combine information that might be sitting in other places like Excel? We might have our budgets or forecast in Excel. So we almost always fall back into one of the solutions that we know the best, which is Excel, right? And we export, paste, and adjust formulas and reformat. An hour goes by and mistakes always are prompt to happen. And what are the things, and the worst part of this process is that we need to do this the next month and then the next month. So it's a repetitive work. And this is not just frustrating. The reporting part is something that delays decisions, high risk, and it means missed opportunities. So SAP comes here to extend and expand the reporting capabilities that you have today in Sage 100. But it's not only about Sage 100, about integrating information from multiple Sage 100 companies, but also centralizing information from additional systems. We were speaking before about Sage CRM, so why not combine information from Sage CRM? And why not combine information from my targets that might be sitting in Excel or budgets? Or maybe we have an additional historical system that we want to centralize. So we transform all of this data into a centralized data warehouse, into a centralized governed data model where the data is structured and ready to be consumed in whatever the solution works best for you and your users. So you can consume this data using ZAP, which is the solution that I will show you today. You can consume the information using Excel or even Power BI, right? So it's up to you. The power here is that you have the option to analyze information, whatever fits best for your requirements, but we are looking always into a centralized piece of truth, right? So let's dive into the solution. So I just want to show you that we can, consume the information using, this is our platform. This is a pre-built analytics that we have for Sage 100. But we can also consume information using, I'm showing Power BI. If you have already Power BI licenses and you're struggling to analyze the data, bear in mind that you can consume the information from our data warehouse using Power BI. Or, especially for the financial teams, if we want to analyze and continue analyzing the information using Excel, we can still consume the information using Excel, right? Again, what is important here is that we are analyzing information from a centralized place. Now, our solution is designed to seamlessly integrate with Sage, right? So we are not generalists, we are specialists, and we specialize in Sage 100. And that's the reason why our solution is a plug and play, and within a matter of days, you will have pre-built analytics for finance, inventory, procurement, and sales. So these are out-of-the-box reports that we have, right, for all of these modules. And this pre-built approach means time to value, means that we understand the challenges and the opportunities that exist within your data, where your data is, how the relationships are built, how the data should be transformed. And this approach is just a starting point, right? To reduce waste, optimize times, and so you can get value in a very short period of time. So I'm just going to show you a couple of dashboards so you can get a bit of a feeling about how you can interact with the solution, and you can see how you can navigate. And actually here my session has ended, but this dashboard that I have here open, it's one of the pre-built dashboards that we have for Sage 100. And it is one of my favorite dashboards because in one single screen, we can see all my financial statements summarized, right? So we have information from an income statement dashboard on the left-hand side. On the center of the screen, I have ratios related to a cash flow statement. And on the right-hand side of the screen, we have ratios related to a balance sheet statement. A key feature that I want to highlight here is that we always have the capability to create subscriptions. So we can track all of these metrics. If I want to, let's say, track my gross margin, and I don't want my gross margin to be below, let's say, 25%, I can configure a business alert that can tell me, hey, you know, on the month of June, your gross margin is 22%. Something is going wrong here, right? So the whole idea is that you can anticipate and you can be proactive in your analysis, right? So this will trigger a workflow that will send you an email attaching some maybe cost reports so you can understand why your gross margin is below your limits. Something is not about having the data, it's about providing you the capability to understand the story behind the data. So you can always, you know, expand on these reports, select how you want to drill down into the data. Remember that we are bringing one single source of truth. That means that we can combine information from multiple sources. We can bring information from, here, my session expired. We can combine information from, you know, sales, inventory, procurement into one single dashboard. From here, I'm drilling down into a more specific dashboard. Here we have a trial balance, right? We can, sorry, this is a profit and loss statement where I have my accounts, my amounts, the budgets that I can have them in Excel as well. And if I want to go to the lowest level of detail, I can always click on this specific number and I can, you know, go to the lowest level of detail. So it's about providing you with those capabilities to interact, to understand how the data is performing. I will show you one more dashboard in the next couple of minutes. I just want to show you again how we can build stories with the data, how we can use the solution to understand what is happening behind my numbers. So this report that I'm showing you here, this is a daily sales report. And the whole idea of this report, and this is a customized report that I built on based on the pre-built content. The idea is that in a daily basis can tell me how my margin is, how my sales are compared against my previous periods and targets, you know, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and yearly basis. I can analyze here my sales, how they're performing on a weekly basis, and I can expand this and I can see, you know, what are my sales, cost of sales, margins, and other measures. I can see that, for example, on this specific week, on week 23, my gross margin is below my boundaries. And I can see that I have a problem here, the 3rd of June. If I want to understand what customers are purchased products on this specific day, I can just click on this one, and then I'm going to explore and analyze which are those customers. If I want to analyze a specific customer, for example, in this case, Cascade, what products this customer bought, I can just drill down into this and I will see now all the list of products that this customer purchased. And I can even go to the lowest level of detail. If I click into this figure, I will go even to the transactional level, right? Where I will see which is the specific invoice, right, that this customer purchased. So SAP is not and it's also in the Sage world, it's also known as Sage Data and Analytics. It's not just a pre-built solution for Sage 100. It's designed to help you expand your analytical capabilities. It's integrated with all the Sage 100 companies and to give you access to other data sources like Excel, or, you know, in this case, Sage CRM, or any other data sources that you can have. So that's what I have prepared for today's session. I know that it's just a very high-level overview, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will be happy to assist.
All of the solutions that you saw today seamlessly integrate with Sage 100 and or utilize the data that's available in Sage 100. So a lot of clients that are using each of these solutions and are very happy with their processes being improved. So if you have any other questions or would like any other information, please feel free to reach out, and we appreciate you spending some time with us this morning.